Hello everybody, and welcome to what I think is episode 37 of This Old Knit. I am your host, Nina, otherwise known as Ine on Ravelry, Instagram, and Pinterest, and you can find maybe show notes for this episode at the This Old Knit podcast group in Ravelry. So I'm going to apologize up front if I get out of breath or cough a lot. I'm getting over a sinus infection and potentially, I don't know what else. Everyone except for my husband has been on antibiotics. We are all recovering, and I'm still on my antibiotics actually for probably another 8 days or so. It's a 10-day course. So yeah, I was much worse than this, and I was actually sick over Christmas. So if you read in the group threads, I mentioned that I think Thursday night I started feeling ill, and my littlest one, Joshua, was actually ill before that, so he had a fever for a day and a half, and I called my mom and asked her if she still wanted us to come, because we, as you know, didn't make it for Thanksgiving to her house, and she said, yeah, I want you to still come. I don't want to not see the kids again. So we went ahead and went. Take a sip of my drink really quick. So we did go, and we had a nice time. I tried to stay as medicated as I could, and made it through, but that Saturday I got a fairly bad fever as well. I had a fever around 100.2 Fahrenheit for 2 days, and Sunday I couldn't even get out of bed. I had really bad muscle, joint pain like you get when you have a fever, and whenever I sat up it just hurt. So I just kind of laid in bed, and my husband took care of the kids, so thank goodness he was here. That was really helpful. And then Monday I was well enough to go to the doctor, and that's when I got antibiotics. We didn't put Joshua on antibiotics right away. We were hoping that just breastfeeding would get him through, because he does get some antibiotics through milk. Plus he gets, my antibodies, of course, but he wasn't better by like Wednesday, so now he's got antibiotics as well. So that was a really long-winded way to say I'm sick still, but I'm getting better. But obviously I'm going to cough or clear my throat, and if I stop to apologize every single time, we'll be here all day. So I have been doing knitting. I did mostly knitting on my blanket while I was really, really sick. That was about all I could manage mentally, and I figured I wouldn't screw up 10 stitches. And I actually did screw up just doing 10 stitches, garter stitch back and forth, because the next day, the Monday, when I was feeling better, I got up and I looked, I wanted to see how much I had knit while I was sick. And I looked down and I saw like a string going across my knitting, and I thought, that's weird. I had like started knitting the other side of the row, so I just pulled the yarn across the back, so I had to rip out like 4 or 5 inches of knitting, but luckily I caught it when I did, so it wasn't too bad. And yeah, I just ripped back and reknit. It didn't take very long. But apparently I was so sick I could even screw up garter stitch. So, not sure where my other needle is, but it's probably going to fall out of here somewhere. No, it's stuck in my other ball of yarn. Okay. So we'll go ahead and start with my blanket. Oh wait, Happy New Year everybody! So I think it's January 2nd, 2016. Which sounds really weird to say. I meant to record yesterday, but yeah, we just got busy with stuff, and I was trying to do some cleaning around the house, just getting things back in order, because with everybody being sick, we just sort of went for, we're just gonna keep meals going and let everything else go. So it was pretty bad in the kitchen, and so I cleaned off the counter completely so I could make some granola bars. So I made those last night. Got some loads of towels done. We did some loads of diapers and got those kind of caught up. So probably today and tomorrow we'll be getting other laundry caught up and all put away. So we're ready for Megwin to start back to school and for me to go back to work. So there you go. So Happy New Year. I hope you all had a good New Year and a good Christmas. For those who celebrate, I hope you got everything that you wanted and that you had a nice time spending time with family or friends. So I finished that little ball that I had that I showed a couple times, and then I added a new ball. So that was right here, was where I added it. And so I've knit all of this to this corner and down to here. So I showed a picture of it on our king size bed on Instagram. But it covers about half the bed now, halfway across the bed. Not obviously the length of that because it's a square, it's not a rectangle. If I were to make another one, I probably would make it a rectangle. Simply because I think it would probably make a better couch blanket in the interim. But that's fine. This one will be good as a square, and eventually it'll get big enough for the bed. So here it is in all of its glory. It's definitely getting too big for me to show now. Man. And it's getting heavy, which is nice. Okay, see. Folds up all big and thick. Nice. So of that new ball I started, I'm about halfway through it. Roughly. So yeah, I'm still enjoying that. It's very fun. I think when I finish this one, I might start another one. I'm either thinking I'll do the 10-stitch circular blanket and make like a rug with leftovers, or I'll make another 10-stitch blanket. But I have a bunch of this super bulky weight yarn that I bought, and I bought it to make a sweater. I made the sweater. I don't like the sweater. The pattern is not written well, and the person who wrote it was actually a student at the time, I think, and she has not provided any pattern support. She's actually been very snarky with people about the pattern. There's a lot of really negative comments about it. Yeah, I don't want to disparage a designer too much, but she's written some, I guess, pretty nasty emails to people. And yeah. So I knit the pattern. It doesn't really fit, so I have the sweater still. I haven't ripped it out, but I'm thinking that might be good to make like more of a couch blanket. If this ends up being large enough to be on our bed, then that one could be like a throw for the kids or whatever. And it's super bulky, so it would knit up very fast. So I'm going to pause now and blow my nose, and I will edit this out. Okay. So that was my 10-stitch blanket by Frankie Brown. The yarn is Cascade Eco Duo. I'm knitting it on a size 7 needle in case anybody wants to make one and is curious what size needle I'm using. I haven't mentioned that in a long time. Now, I've got to dig down, so give me 1 second here. Okay. The next thing that I've been working on, I'm going to have to make some Knot Christmas bags. This one's more of a winter bag, so I can use it all winter because we wear mittens all winter, right? It's beautiful. Okay, so the next thing I've been working on is my Gnome Acres socks. And these are in the Under the Tree colorway in her Sparkle Gnome base. I'm making them in the Blueberry Waffle socks stitch pattern, and I'm just doing them on a standard 64 stitch sock. You can see the colorway a little bit better on this side. I did 20 rows of ribbing at the top, then I started the stitch pattern, standard heel flap and gusset, and I'm actually on the toe decreases right now. I was hoping I'd have a full sock to show you, but I have to run to the store after this, so I wanted to go ahead and record the episode before I lost my chance. Megwin and I are going to the zoo today to meet her Girl Scout troop because she's joining Girl Scouts. And this is their first activity that we've been able to go to since we signed her up. And then there's an official meeting next week. So my husband is actually sick now, finally. He's the last one to be sick. So he was going to go, but he's not going to be able to. So it's just going to be her and I. Her and me. It's going to be her and me. So it'll be fun, but I need to go and get some like insulated underwear because it's outdoors and it's going to be in the 30s today, and it's going to drop down into the high 20s tonight. So if we're there for the zoo lights, it is going to be really cold. So I want to make sure I have a wool underlayer, and I haven't bought any yet, so we're going to run over and get some of those. Megwin has some. She has merino wool insulated underwear from New Zealand. They're from a company called Marcel Me, and they're awesome. We've had them for years. We got them when she was 1 or 2. She might have been 18 months or something, and we ordered a size 4, and they were actually, you know, just really big on her, and we just rolled up the cuffs, and now they fit her perfectly. And they've lasted for all of that time. They're starting to get some holes in them now, but it doesn't affect the insulative properties. So, yeah, I highly recommend that company if you see it. Grab some. They don't make for adults, though, unfortunately. Or I would buy them. Alright, so that is my first whip. And, that also would count for our No Makers Knit Along, which I'll talk about in just a second. So the second thing I cast on recently, and this one also counts for another knit along that I'm in, started by the Canadian Knitter podcast. The host's Ravelry name is True Canuck Girl, and she's actually my cabin leader for the Winter Camp 2016 knit along. So they organized us into different cabins, and there's a point system. It's going to go on for, I think, 3 months, 3 or 4 months. Let me think. January, February, March, April. No, January, February, March. I think it's just 3 months. But yeah, there's also a day camp if you want to just participate with stuff, but you didn't get to sign up in time. There is a cabin called Team Puffin, and you can join that at any time. and still win some prizes. You can't win all the prizes because a lot of them are organized for the other cabins, but you can still participate, see what it's all about, and see if you want to do it next year. Whew. So, anything for that you had to cast on either New Year's Eve after 7 p.m. your time or later. So this one I cast on the 1st, actually, and it is my shawl I was talking about. So I don't have a ton of it yet, but this is the Lalo shawl by Shannon Cook, and it's actually like a semicircular shawl, which I've never knit before, so I'm excited about that. So normal, you know, garter tab cast on, and then it has this really cool drop stitch pattern, which I don't know if you can see or not. It calls for knitting it on a 3, but I actually don't have a size 3 needle, so I'm knitting it on a 4, which I think is fine, because the rest of it's garter, and that's totally fine. I knit my Hexie Puffs on a size 4, and I've definitely knit lots of No Makers Hexie Puffs, and I think that they're okay. So this should be fine as well. Using a little teapot stitch marker from Molly of Homespun Houses shop. And then these are little stitch markers that I got in my Advent Swap package from Lynette Knits. So the yarn I'm using for it, I'm going to use 2 different colors. I don't have the other ball up here with me, I don't think. But this one is No Maker's House Gnome in the Gnome of the Lake colorway. It's really pretty. So it's got kind of these minty greens, a darker green, like a cornflower blue, and then a darker tealy blue. And this originally is what I was using for Megwin's little honey sweater with the coordinating solid, but I felt like the stripes got lost a little bit in it, so I ripped it out and then I used the tweed, which I think was a good choice because the tweeds ended up better. So but that's why it's frogged a little bit here, this middle part that I have wrapped around it. So I'm still working my way through the frogged yarn before I get to the new yarn. But I did bring up the pattern so I could show you what this shawl is going to look like. I don't think I had it last time and I showed it on my phone, but it didn't come out very well when I looked at it. So there's the back, what it's going to look like with that drop stitch pattern. So I'm going to knit the main body of the shawl with this colorway until I run out of yarn, and then I'm going to switch to the coordinating solid and knit the bottom part until I run out of yarn. And here it is, worn a couple different ways. So there's a kind of twisting around your body. This is usually how I wear my shawls, kind of in the front, draped. But then you could also wrap it around or have it to the side. And it should be a nice big shawl if I use all of the yardage that I have. I think I have about 700 yards. And it calls for 2 skeins of Madeline Tosh sock, which is about 400 yards, and I think one of mine is actually 440 or something like that, and then the other one is 300 something, so mine will be a little bit bigger. But it's a very easy pattern to make larger. I have a couple of Shannon Cook patterns now, and I really like how she writes her patterns. They're very modular and very nice to follow. So that's the Lalo shawl. I'm excited about how it's coming out so far, and it's really easy. So it's nice and quick. There's the drop stitch pattern again. Okay. something's gonna fall on me. I need to reorganize my bags, but I just kind of threw it in a bag with my socks. I need to re-swizzle, and I'm actually going to try to maybe sew a couple bags in the next few days or so to get some that are not Christmassy, because all the bags I sewed are Christmassy. So I don't have anything that is not holiday themed. I mean, this one's so cute. I don't care that it says Merry Christmas. I love it. And then I also started another pair of socks in Gnome Makers. Bungalow Gnome, which is her BFL base, and I've never knit with that before. I really like it. It's very squishy and nice. So this sock pattern is the This Way, That Way Socks pattern by Mina Phillip, who is the host of the Knitting Expat podcast. She posted on her Instagram thread when she released this pattern, and she had a very nice, generous coupon code until Christmas Day, I think, to get it for $1. So I went ahead and got it, and I was going to originally use this for the Christmas Eve cast on with little bobbins, but then I got sick, so I did cast on, but I ripped it out because I wanted it. I knew I wasn't going to be able to knit very much on it because I was sick, and I wanted it to count for the winter camp. So I just ripped it out and cast it on again because I only had the cast on, basically. And I needed to cast it on a little more loosely anyway. So there it is so far. It's a slip stitch pattern that kind of goes back and forth on the leg. And Mina's patterns are always written so the patterning is only on half the leg, which is kind of nice because then you get a break on the back of it. And you get to see your yarn have, you know, a chance to shine on the back. Megan's getting mad at her brother. So I just have 2 repeats of the slip stitch pattern done so far, and I did my ribbing. But that was basically what I knit New Year's Eve. And this is officially the last pair of sock needles that I have available that are not Knit Pick sock needles, which I don't really care for. Knit Pick sock needles, I have a lot of them, but they changed their cord, and I don't like the new cord. It's not flexible at all, and they pull out of the cords constantly. So I just keep them around as an emergency thing, but I don't really care for them. I'm just kind of waiting to see if anybody does like a thing where they need to have needles be donated, like a school program or something like that. I might just donate them all, because they'd be fine for little kids to learn to knit, and then if they trash them, they can just throw them away. But I'm slowly replacing my sock needles with Addi sock rockets because I really like Addi sock rockets. I got the one pair of Carbons, and they're fine. They're fine. But the larger Carbons I got, I don't really like them. They're not a smooth join, and if it's not going to be consistent that I can get ones with a smooth join, then I don't want to buy them, because most places where you buy needles you cannot return them, so you're kind of stuck. You're stuck if you get bad ones, which is frustrating. So yeah. Anyway, blah blah blah. Here's my yarn. You all don't care about my rant about sock needles, do you? There it is. So this is the Peppermint Mocha colorway in the Gnome Makers Bungalow Gnome, and it was the other skein I got of her holiday colorways this year. I have the mini set that has all of them, but I don't know where I put it. I have to find it because I wanted to wind some of them up to knit Hexie Puffs for my blanket. Okay. Another whip I worked on is Megwin's shawl. Didn't get that much done since last time, I don't think. Maybe like 1 or 2 more rows. The rows are getting pretty long, so it takes me a while to finish a row. Hold it this way. So this is the Boneyard Shawl by Stephen West. I'm knitting it out of Knit Picks Chroma in the Buttermint colorway. And I'm just kind of doing a row here and there as I have time. I really love this peach. That's my favorite color in this skein. Yeah, I don't really have a whole lot of else to say about that. It's getting there. It's just started getting cold here, so now I'm feeling a little bit more motivated to knit on warm things, as we call them in this house. Because nobody was really wearing them. No one had to wear hats or mittens or anything like that, and now we finally do need to. So it's those two. And then I told you I've been doing a lot of knitting. The other thing I did was I cast on for Josh's other mitten. So we talked about it, and what we decided is, rather than trying to modify the other one, which I think I mentioned this in the last episode, rather than trying to modify this one and figure out what's going on and where I should have stopped with the thumb pattern, I'm going to knit the second one up to the point where the pattern says to put the stitches on waste yarn. I'm going to put them on waste yarn and then let him try them on and see what he thinks. If he likes that, then I will rip this one back to that point and then continue with them. But I at least have, I think, up to here to knit before we make that decision, so that's fine. And that's just knitting in pattern like normal. Where I have the marker, actually, is where the pattern called for casting off or putting the stitches on waste yarn for the thumb. I forgot how long this ribbing took me last time. It's, I forget what it's called. I don't know if it's a fisherman's rib. I think it might be a fisherman's rib. So it makes this almost braided looking fabric, which you probably won't be able to see because it's on black yarn or really dark charcoal gray yarn. But it does look really pretty in person, and it cinches down to the wrist very nicely, so it seems like it won't get stretched out of shape, which is good. But it is a little bit more time consuming to knit, so this part, I remember last time, took me quite a while, and then once I got to the hand part, it's knit in an Eye of Partridge pattern, so that should be fine. So the pattern I'm using is Char by Andrea Rangel, and I think I'm knitting the 64 stitch variation. So those are going. I only work on them during the day just because it's a really dark yarn. At night we don't have the greatest lighting in our house, so it's hard for me to see what I'm doing. So I don't work on it at night, I just work on it during the day. But they're getting there, and my husband really has been politely asking for them because he doesn't have any mittens that fit his hands. He has kind of strangely shaped hands, or maybe gloves in general are just made for a standardized size hand, and that is not what anybody's hand size is. But he did get a pair of gloves from my mom, I think 2 years ago for Christmas, and they're too tight. They're way too tight, and they're men's gloves, so I don't know. Yeah. So hopefully those will work out for him. Let's see, is there anything else I I did in here. No. The other thing is, oh wait, no. Got one more. Did knit a couple of rows on this. Oh, and there's my contrasting color yarn. Here's the other color for my shawl. This will be the bottom part. The other thing I worked on is Jessica's going to be so excited. My Volan Vine socks. I kind of wanted to get done with the heel flap and get it all going back in the round again, so that was what I was trying to do. So I just did a couple rows on the heel flap. But these are my Volan Vine yarn socks, Footsie base, Octopus Garden colorway, 64 stitch variation of the Vanilla Bean sock pattern. No, Vanilla Latte sock pattern. I'm going to knit another pair in the Vanilla Bean pattern. That'll probably be my next pair of socks if I don't do a pair of socks for my husband, but I might do a pair for him. I have the other sock done of this pair, so that's the other reason that I want to finish it, because once I get done with the gusset, then I can just finish the foot and then I'll have another pair of hand knit socks, which is always good. Plus I want to free up the sock needles. Okay. Pausing for blowing my nose again. So that brings me to Christmas. So I got a lot of stuff for Christmas. My mom really spoiled me, and I also got something really great from my Advent package. So I'm going to start with the Advent package. I got two things, but the other one is not up here. I'll have to think about where I put it. I got a really beautiful handmade Nitty Knotty from an Etsy seller. But I think that, yeah, Janet got it at Rhinebeck. And she also got me a bunch of the mugs I wanted from Rhinebeck. She coordinated with like other people in our Itty Bitty Knits group to bring her mugs from different places. So like I said last time, I got the Hamptons one, I got the Washington State one. She's so sweet that she thought ahead so much for me. So I got the Nitty Knotty, which is beautiful. I think it's made of bird's eye maple. Joshua had it at one point in his hands, so I picked it up and I put it somewhere so he couldn't get it. I think it's on like the back of our desks. There's not very many places now that we can put things that he can't get to. We have a box like this box on the back of our two desks, my husband's and mine, and it's kind of between the two, and we put some stuff in there, so I'm pretty sure that's where it is. The other thing she got me was some fiber from Into the World, which I've never spun with before. She said she's not a spinner, but she asked other people in the group what would be a good thing to get for me, and this is what they suggested. So thank you to all of you for your beautiful choice. And it is Superwash BFL in the Excursion colorway. So 4 ounces of Superwash BFL. And, oh, this braid is so pretty. I haven't got it out of the bag yet, so I've kept it safe. It's kind of these really pretty berry colors. Oh, and it feels so awesome and bouncy. I love BFLs so much. So it goes from, it's got like navy blue to a dark purple to like a wine purple to this beautiful wine color red and some pinks and a little bit of white. That's very, very pretty. So thank you, Janet. I'm going to really enjoy spinning with that. I might use my Trindle for this one. So I have to finish up the non-superwash BFL that I'm working on. And when I finish with that, I think I'll spin with this next. And I might try to see if I can separate the braid so I can spin the colors in order, maybe preserve the colors. I really want to teach myself to ply on the fly, so I need to find some YouTube videos for that. I know Carlene from the Made with Carlenergy podcasts plies on the fly, and I've never plied normally, so I think that learning that technique would probably help me a lot with color management and making sure that when I'm done with a spin that like I have usable yarn that's not just a single. Okay, and then that brings me to this stuff from my mom. Poor guy, he really wants to nurse and have his nap. I'm almost done, so then I'll go down there with him. So first off, she knit these really beautiful mittens out of, I think this is Misty Alpaca hand paints. It's the bulky weight. So these are going to be super warm. I think she's going to wear these for this. Okay, sorry I got cut off there, and then Joshua was screaming himself to sleep because he does that. He's being held by my husband, and then he's screaming like, oh, oh, and then he falls asleep. It's really funny. Sad but funny. Because he's still being held. It's not like he's not being held. Silly goose. It's like he has to exhaust himself. Okay, so here's these mittens. And they feel very warm and nice. If they were my size, I would totally wear them. But we will use these for the zoo tonight. So maybe I can get some pictures for my mom, because she didn't get any pictures for her Ravelry page. There they are. And then she made me a hat, which is the Greystone hat, I think. This is in Malabrigo Rios in the Fresco y Seco colorway. And it's the same colorway that I used to make Joshua's Christmas tree sweater that I might have shared on a really early podcast. I think I did. I did that in Miss Babs as the coordinating color in Frog Belly. So when she gave it to me, it was not blocked yet, and it was so funny. It was like this big. It was like, it looked like a little weird tube, but I blocked it on a soccer ball. So now it is more slouchy. It's not got a lot of slouch. It's kind of funny because the pattern shows it like all the slouch. Maybe I just have a big head. I don't know. But that's kind of what it looks like on. It's nice because it's a lightweight layer. So I have the really bulky hat that I knit out of Madeline Tosh Home. But I didn't have one that was a lighter weight hat. So this one has been great for kind of the weather we've been having. That's, you know, 40s, 30s, but it's not so cold that you want a bulky weight hat. The bulky's almost too much. So I've been wearing this a ton. So thank you, Mom. She's also knitting me matching mittens, and she said she's almost done with those, so I'm excited to get those too. And then she knit hats for the kids. She knit 4 hats, but I don't know where the other 2 are. Megan was playing with them. So they're somewhere around here, but they had little like animals on the top of them, and they were stripes of different different materials and textures. They're really fun. So Megan's has a unicorn head on the top, and Joshua's has a monkey head. And she's been wearing hers a ton as well. And then she... Okay, sorry, it's been probably about 20 minutes for me, no time for you, but my battery died, so I just want to make sure that I finished up the, I moved my chair too. So I was just showing other hats that my mom made. So she made 2 of the, I don't know if they're called gnome hats, but they're from the More Last Minute Knitted Gifts book, which I think is by one of the designers that works at Pearl Soho. So these are both in Malabrigo Twist, which I've never worked with before, but Mom said it was really nice yarn. She made them in the adult small, so they'd fit for a while. Megan's head is big enough that she can wear my hats. The red one is Joshua's, and it's a little bit big on him, but that's fine. We can roll up the brim. So It's gonna look ridiculous. It's a little bit tight for me, obviously, but you get the idea. It sticks up in this fun little point, so they look really, really cute on the kids. So the blue ones, Penguins, the red ones, Joshua's, but they can interchange them. And Mom is making mittens for them with the main color and then a stripe of the coordinating color. Here, Megwin, do you want to come show them your hat on you?
I'm going to show you my gnome hat. Looky. I look like a gnome.
You look like a gnome. Don't pull it down too much. You gotta enjoy the point. Alright. And then I had one more thing to show.
Ooh.
Don't bump my camera.
Red elf hat.
Oh, you want to show them the red elf hat? This one's Bubby's.
This is Bubby's red elf hat, and the blue one's mine.
Yeah, but you guys can both wear each other's because they're the same size. Alright, goofball, come on. I'm finishing showing my stuff. Hey, don't bump the camera.
Sorry.
Okay. And then my mom got me this really cool big bag from Bird Leg Bags.
Oh my goodness.
So I'm going to put my blanket in this. And then it's got a little mushroom zipper hole. And inside it has this leafy fabric. Yes, Megwin?
Yeah, leafy fabric like this.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, can I share some of my stuff after you're done?
Remember we recorded your segment before when we were making the kitty together. I have to put that in. If I put that in, I don't have time for another segment from you. Because that was pretty long. Plus, I want to go to the store soon. Okay. And then, my mom gave me this lemony yellow yarn, which is super pretty, from Highway 50, which I've never heard of before. It's called In Plain Air, and the colorway is Lemon Zest. So it's a fingering weight, but it's pretty plump. It looks a little bit more like a sport weight, I would say. And then she got 2 skeins of yarn to make a sweater for Megwin. And this is Dream and Color Smushy, which is their sock weight, in Giant Peach colorway. So it's kind of a peachy pink. The last thing is this Dream and Color Smushy. I got 2 skeins, and it's the Butter Peeps colorway. So it has some of those fun peaches in it, and then it's yellow, obviously. So I think that'll make a fun shawl. So I'm going to probably knit that up sometime soon, but obviously I have a bunch of No Makers projects on the needles right now. But it's, again, a really plump sock yarn. I've got a pair of socks.
Minnie Mouse.
I've got a pair of socks out of Dream and Color Smushy, and I really like them. So that is everything. Okay, so just to remind everyone, for the next 2 months we'll be doing a No Makers cowl, and you can use any No Makers yarn. It can be a whip that you've already started, or it could be a new project. Just share it in the chatter thread. I've started a new chatter thread for that cowl specifically. I will draw one prize from that chatter thread, so even if you don't have No Makers yarn to participate, you can still cheer other people on or get ideas for projects or that kind of thing from that thread. And then I will have a finished objects thread for this one, so I'll draw for some prizes from that thread as well. And Coddington has generously offered to make a prize for us. Coddington has offered to sew us a project bag, so we will have the calendar, the tape measure, and the project bag. And then I was thinking that I might order a skein of No Makers yarn, and then we'll also have a mini skeins bag that I'll put together of different mini skeins. So if you want to, you can also knit with No Makers mini skeins. So if you don't have a full skein, but you have some minis and you're doing a mini skein project, you're welcome to use those and knit along with us and enter that one in. But The only thing I would ask is that you only enter it one time as an FO. So only enter that one in one time. Like if you're doing Hexapuffs or a modular blanket or anything. So if you have any questions about anything, feel free to post them in the chatter thread. I believe that Sarah of the Love Sock Wool podcast will probably open up her threads later this week or next week. She said that she'll announce it on her next episode of her podcast. I've linked to hers in the first post of the chatter thread. I'll put that in the header as well. And then once I've had a chance to coordinate with her, we'll come up with a hashtag as well for sharing your projects on Instagram. And if you want to tag them in your projects page too. So it should be really fun. I'm very excited. As you've seen, I have 3 No Makers projects on the needles right now. I might do one more if I get a pair of socks done. I might cast on one more pair of socks with some No Makers. I haven't decided yet if what I'm going to do with that. So yeah, that's for charging the battery. So anyway, that is all I had in the way of announcements. I hope that everybody has a great week. This is going to be a good month for me, I think. It's my birthday this month. Don't shake. You have a year before your birthday. Should be a good month for me. It's my birthday month. It's my anniversary month. I'm really excited about both of those, and hopefully work won't be too crazy, and I'll be able to record regularly. So that is all I have for this week. Megan and I have recorded a segment for her of making a sock kitty together, and she also wants to do another one, so I don't know which one I'm going to stick on to the end, but I will record that one separately. So until next time, have a great week, and I will see you all later. Bye. Okay.
Hi, I didn't get to do my segment yet. So, we're doing it separate.
Yeah, and I'll put it on the end.
And now I'm going to show you my bear. This is a polar bear. A lot of people just don't care if global warming kills polar bears, but maybe some of you do care. Maybe some of you don't. Maybe some of you like polar bears. Maybe some of you don't like them. I know everyone likes different things. So, his white fur is very soft. And his little nose, you can mugga him. Mugga. Those eyes are great for sharp seeing. His ears are great for hearing. Oh, they're right over there. That's a nice little smile. Mom just need to friendly. These are the paws. That helps it grab. Another paw. And another paw. And another paw. I'm gonna go for a second and find out where Mom is. Okay, guys? Okay. Now I'm back. Good thing. Okay, let's talk more about polar bears. Now, every day I hear this song, and it's called Croissant. I'm telling them about the song Croissanta. You can listen too.
Okay.
Croissanta was made by the singer named Elise Crescendo. She's a girl.
Okay.
And it was made 100 years ago.
Awesome.
Maybe a little bit more than that.
Awesome.
Also, I hear it every night when I go to sleep. And I heard that polar bears hear it too. And it's a legend. I mean, not a legend. It's really real. Polar bears hear it too. And it soothes them so much. And when they go to sleep, they just have to have babies. So they lay babies. because they have to have them. There's also a wake-up call, well, that they make a soothing song for them to get up, and they won't get disappointed and grumpy from a crazy song. It's a soothing song that wakes them up sometimes because it has the words wake up, wake up. Wake up, the sun, animales crocenta. Wake up, cruzan, animales crocenta. That's how that song goes. I know the Crosanta song too. Hushaby, go to sleep, polar bears. When you wake, you shall see the sun is shining. Polar bears, I know that you are endangered from global warming, but we are going to help you. Get safe from there. That's the two songs. And now that I'm done with that song, I will show you this bear. Now, some bears do have stars on their fur. Some bears do. And there's another song to sing them asleep. It goes like this. Starred bears, go to sleep, bear, little bear, go to sleep. I know that you are tired right now. But the soothing go to sleep songs only come out in the nighttime. But they only come out every few years. So it's very rare to hear them. I always hear them soothing the polar bears. I always hear them. Now I'm going to go see what Mom's doing for a second. If some of you don't know Hushaby, I can sing it to you right now because that's the next thing I'm going to do in my segment. Hushaby, don't you cry. Go to sleepy little baby. When you wake, you shall have all the pretty little horses. One sun glazed, top sun babes, a coach and 7 little horses. Go Hushaby, don't you cry, go to sleepy little baby. That's the end of Hushaby. I just made it a little bit different. That's my new Hushaby song. Now, listen carefully. Silver rocks are rare, except only 2 people have found a silver rock that looks like this. And now it's 3 because I found it. They sent, one of those persons sent it to me. Mom, who sent me the hat again? The snowflake hat?
Jessica?
Well, I heard that I heard sometimes I go upstairs and through the window all the time sometimes comes a newspaper, but no one ever sees it because I am always hiding upstairs. It's so good of hiding that even when someone's upstairs with me, they don't even see that I'm reading the newspaper. Now, This is really real. Did you hear that, Mom?
It's pretty weird.
Yeah, it's true though.
Okay.
All the time when we play hide and seek, it gives me enough time to read the newspaper.
Cool.
And I read it about who found the silver rock. The first one I heard, she was named Emalis Crescin Animalis. And the second one, you're going to be so surprised of this, Mom.
Okay.
And the second one who found the silver rock was named Jessica.
Whoa.
The same Jessica who sent me the hat.
Cool.
And then she decided that she would send a silver rock to me. And she did. But I know only one person found a golden rock. And it's the same person who sent me the silver rock. It's Jessica again!